So it could be memories that are can be caused by trauma at any stage in your life. When your normal systems get overwhelmed, you get into a different set of mechanism is activated in your brain and in your body, and that records information in a different way, and that again can form part of your hidden memory structure. So hidden memory doesn't have to be bad, because a lot of your life is lived through that kind of automatic programming. So it works as in, so you don't have to think about everything. It just forms your sort of your default state, as it were. So it can be a good thing, you don't have to think about it, or it can be a bad thing if it is interfering in your life and in what what you want to create in your life. So that is why we're going to look at it, and we will also look at what to do about it, and some of the things that are quite easy for you to start to implement. Okay. So, how do you know if you're being... Okay, so hidden memory is if you are finding that you have self-defeating behaviors, or you repeat patterns that are not good for you, and logically they're not good for you, but you still do them. It could be to do with nutrition. It could, how you look after yourself or don't look after yourself. It could be to do with relationships, the people in your life. Sometimes you might get involved with negative relationships at any, it could be a personal relationship, friendships, work colleagues, where you're not feeling validated, but you still tolerate it, or you feel like, oh, this is just the way things are, this is how I am, but it doesn't serve you. It doesn't it's not helping you. Also, in terms of if you are wanting to make a change in your life, but you find it very difficult, that anytime you try to sort of, do something new, a lot of fear or anxiety comes up, or a lot of resistance comes up. So that kind of, you're not living from a place of curiosity and excitement and exploration, but you're living more from a place of wanting to keep yourself safe. And you're living a smaller life than what you'd want to be living. Okay. And so those are some of the ways you can tell that you are being run by negative, hidden memories and patterns. Okay. So I'm just going to see the next slide. Okay, so how is trauma memory or traumatic hidden memory different than your normal autobiographical memory? So it's different in two main ways. One is that you do not have access to it. You don't know it's there. And the other way is different, is that it contains a lot of emotional charge. So it's there. It's part of your neural biology. It's part of your response to things, and you don't really know why you respond in certain ways to things. You don't have a logical reason for it, but you have a strong response to something, or or it could be when you sort of have a strong positive response to things that are not good for you. That could be another thing. A lot of phobias could be a result of hidden memory as well, because it's maybe a certain thing reminds you of something that a trauma you might have experienced. So you don't remember the trauma, but you remember the thing that so the hidden memories are there. They sort of almost form a background track of your life, and they're part of your sort of limbic survival system. So they're always there looking out for danger. So they're always trying to keep you safe. They're always trying to, but you're not consciously aware of them. They don't form part of your autobiography, your life story. Okay. So yes, memory creation and recall is state dependent, and this is something that you might have experienced yourself. But I came across, when I was researching this, I came across this really good experiment, and what it means is, for example, when you're depressed and somebody tries to cheer you up, and they say like, look, this is all these wonderful things are happening, and remember when we did this, and all of these wonderful positive things that you also have in your life. Sometimes when you're depressed or you're in a negative state of mind, you can't access them. You're sort of, you just only remember those kind of things of that kind of same kind of resonance. You only remember sad things or depressing things, or and when you're happy, it's very easy for you to access happy memories, and you're not so drawn to sad experiences. And also, there's an experiment I just came across where they experimented with mice, unfortunately. But what they did was they gave them this chemical to induce a certain state. It's almost like getting them a little bit drunk, and what happened was they then gave them like mild shocks. But then when they were normal and they were put in the same environment, they had no fear of what had happened. But when they gave them the same chemical again, so they were in the same state of like being slightly drunk, they showed a fear response from being in that place. And it just means that sometimes, when we see people, like sometimes, your best friend or a friend, they might be in a relationship that is destructive or negative for them, and you can say to them, look, this, they might complain about it as well, but then you see them again and they're all happy and lovey-dovey, and and it's almost like the negative stuff stays in a different place than the positive stuff. So when they're in a happy place, they're not able to access the experiences created that were part of that negative experience. It can happen in like a domestic violence kind of situations, or any kind of abusive relationship or situation. And so it just so it depends on how you're feeling, will determine what you're able to access, what are you able to recall. So if there was something like a bad experience happened, maybe you're involved in an accident or something, and there's a huge amount of fear and anxiety associated to it, you're not able to recall those memories in a normal day-to-day life, but they do influence your behavior. There is a huge emotional response to it. But if you were in a similar situation where something similar might happen again, automatically those memories will get activated and triggered, and maybe in some ways overwhelm you, or flood your system. Okay, there's a lot of work being done that people, there's different types of traumatic experiences. One could be like somebody growing up in a negative environment, and it just, all their experiences are negative. Or it could be somebody who's had a positive life experiences, but then they have an encounter, an experience that's negative. And it seems like a lot of the work with PTSD, etc., has been done with people who, like, for example, soldiers who've had normal brain structures, and then they go into a war zone and they come back and they look at what's different. So the actual brain structures change due to people experiencing trauma, and also your ability to access different parts of the brain are also altered if you experience trauma, and people who've actually grown up in a less than positive environment, their brains are often different. They're wired differently than somebody who's lived in a positive environment. And there's actually a different one is like what parts of the brain are accessible and light up, and the other thing also is what parts of the brain are the size of different structures in the brain. So for example, a structure that is amygdala, that tells you about, it's like a warning system, that can become bigger or even more stimulated in somebody who's looking for danger, who's cued for, who's more alert and maybe hypervigilant. So these things are easy to measure, and they have been measured, but what it also means is that because the brain it just shows that the brain's always adapting. So if it's adapting to a traumatic event, it can also start to renormalize itself when the danger is over. And we're going to look at some of the ways you can start to make more of those changes in your life that will allow for that neurogenesis to take place. Okay. Okay, this is really interesting. So normal versus PTSD brain centers for self-awareness and self-expression. Okay, so what that means is, and this is I'm going to put this link in the show notes, is that this one person has done a lot of work on such things, and it's amazing. But he's got this amazing slide where he shows that the default state of people who've experienced trauma versus people who've not experienced trauma. So he talks about the frontal cognitive systems. These are like your higher thinking centers, and they are they give you a sense of who you are, what you feel, what you think, how your body feels, if you're comfortable, if you're not comfortable, your ability to express your thoughts, know them and then express them. And your ability is, it's almost like he says, it's like a mohawk, it sort of starts here and then it goes, it's like the midbrain section. And what they found was that, but what they found was that the people who'd actually experienced trauma, these centers were not even activated. They had no access to these places. So in that sense, if somebody's experienced trauma, you would have a reduced sense of self. You would have a reduced sense of want to know what you feel, what your needs are, how your body feels, and also your ability to express what you want or what you're feeling. So what that can mean is that often you might become more dependent on external validation because the sense of I is not so strong, and so there's that kind of wanting. Sometimes a lot of people in caring professions seem to have this thing that is that you want to serve, you want to give, you want to sacrifice, but you don't want to give to yourself. Okay, so I think it's really good to serve and to be of service, and a positive influence in the world, but you've got to look after yourself first. So if you're not doing that, if you're just focused on serving others, it might mean that you need to foster this sense of I more, because once you have a sense of I, you're becoming interdependent with people. You're no longer, there's no longer this kind of merging that goes on, the blurring of boundaries of me and you doesn't get blurred so much. I am distinctly me and you are you, and we can relate, but there's no this kind of thing of either wanting to give too much or needing too much. So there's that kind of it's like having that sense of I, and also that sense of worthiness. I deserve, I am okay just the way I am, without having to prove anything. Okay, so this is like how to awaken the higher cognition and self-awareness centers of the brain. So how to awaken the higher cognition and self-awareness centers of the brain. And what that means is these are the centers that give you that strong sense of self, of who you are. And they come from knowing and feeling safe. And so if you are not feeling safe, your limbic system, the fear and the fight or flight freeze, fight flight freeze system is activated. But until you start to feel that sense of safety within you, these centers of the sense of I cannot develop. Okay, so we're going to look at, and also one of the things that that traumatized people have had is that they you don't have a full awareness of your body if you've experienced trauma. So you might your body, your physical body and your emotional body, so your emotions and your so one of the things as well is to get a sense of your physicalness, of to feel to experience your body in space, the space that you take and how you move through space. So getting a sense of what your body is able to do, what your body likes and doesn't like. So any kind of physical therapies like body work, massage, yoga, gentle things. So and even like experiencing the power and the strength of your body. But it's like to be done in a mindful way. So you're building that kind of awareness of this is me, this is my body, these are my limits, my boundaries, and so having that so it's all about like learning to take care of yourself, taking care of yourself again. Maybe looking after yourself after maybe you've had trauma, but some of us, or if you is to relearn all of that, is to learn what it feels to take care of yourself, and to feel and live in a safe place, and to feel like the world is a safe place for you. So, and that can only happen when you create that sense of safety in your body. Start with that and then move outwards to include more and more space in that sense of safety. Yeah, thank you, Esther. Yeah, lovely. And so that, yes, taking that space with being safe in yourself, and then being safe to expand out and take more space. Okay, so we are actually going to do a meditation to connect you to your body awareness. Okay, so these so any kind of self, or one of the other things as well that I want to mention before we go into the meditation is that when you're activated, when you're in the fight or flight freeze space, you lose contact with your higher thinking centers. It's like when you're trying to decide and you're in that state of fear or anxiety, and it doesn't have to be a trauma situation, because we live in the heightened kind of state of stress and trauma. We do that to ourselves because that might feel natural and normal. So making plans, making decisions, doing things when you are in that state of peace. So first get into that state of peace, and you get awareness, you connect to your higher thinking centers, you connect to your intuition, and that's when you should be doing any of your decision making or any of your planning or any of your rather than moving forward through fear and anxiety and pushing through. And I mean, one of the things is like I really don't go for that thinking of just pushing through things and forcing yourself. So, but I really feel like take care of yourself first, make yourself feel good, and feel okay about making yourself feel good. Feel okay about giving yourself that space. I will put some resources up. Please let me know, because I can either I will include the research, which is like the brain research and stuff, and I'll include that. But please also let me know if there's any other kind of resources you'd like me to include in the show notes after this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the meditation, and what I want you to do is to make yourself comfortable as you can. Okay, this is my favorite part of the talk. So make yourself comfortable and just become aware of your breath. Become aware of your breath, and become aware of your hands and your feet. Okay, and I just want you to adjust your body if you need to, because I want you to stay relatively still during this meditation, because we're going to sort of be working at improving your awareness of your body. So I'm doing the same for myself, just making myself comfortable. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing into your belly, expanding it, and breathing out. And notice your hands. Just become aware of your hands, and notice that if they're tied or clenched, just loosen them. Just loosen them. Just let them sort of be open. And notice your neck and your shoulders. If there's any tension, just let them just drop a little. Let them let go. And just, giving yourself this time, these few minutes, just to be present. Excuse me. Just to be present is okay. It's okay to give yourself this time. And notice your jaw and your teeth, and just unclench. If you're holding too tight, just unclench your jaw and let it hang loose. And notice your eyes and your forehead, allowing them to relax. So we're going to begin the meditation. And in this meditation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through different parts of your body, and I just want you to follow my voice and pay attention. Just take your attention, your awareness to the part of the body that I'm mentioning. Okay, and there's nothing else you have to do. You're just paying attention to that part of the body. Okay, so we're going to start with your right foot. Okay, right foot. sole of the foot, top of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, heel, ankle, calf, shin, knee, back of the thigh, front of the thigh, right hip, right waist, right side of the torso, right shoulder blade, right arm, upper arm, elbow, lower arm, wrist, back of the hand, palm of the hand, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left side of the body, starting with left foot, sole of the foot, top of the foot, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, back of the heel, ankle, calf, shin, left knee, front of the thigh, back of the thigh, left hip, left waist, left torso, left shoulder, left arm, upper arm, elbow, lower arm, wrist, back of the hand, palm of the hand, left thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left side of the body, top of the head, back of the head, temples, forehead, left eyebrow, right eyebrow, center of your brows, left eye, right eye, nose, left nostril, right nostril, left ear, right ear, left cheek, right cheek, upper lip, lower lip, teeth, jaw, neck, collarbones, left collarbone, right collarbone, left chest, right chest, solar plexus, belly, belly button, lower belly, pelvis, back of the body, top of the head, back of the head, neck, shoulders, left shoulder blade, right shoulder blade, spine, left back, right side of the back, left buttock, right buttock, back of your legs, left leg, right leg. Okay. So now just focus on your belly, belly button, moving out with every breath and falling with every breath, expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting, expanding, contracting. Imagine your belly button, your belly area is filling up with light every time you breathe in. You're filling your belly with light every time you breathe in. And every time you breathe out, you are sending that light to all parts of your body. Okay, excuse me. You're sending the light to all parts of your body. So you're breathing in light, beautiful golden light, filling your belly button, your belly, your abdomen. And as you breathe out, you send the light to all parts of your body. From the tips of your toes to your fingertips to the top of your head. Every time you breathe, you're bringing in more light. And you're filling more and more light into your body. You're allowing your body, your cells, to awaken to their true nature of being light. Allow your brain, your mind to be filled with light. Connecting to your own source of light, your own wisdom. Allow that to be inside your mind. You're sort of welcoming it in. This is your light. This is your wisdom, your intelligence. You just allow it to pour into you, filling your whole body with this liquid light. Just imagine that your body is a hollow vessel that is being filled with this beautiful golden light. And if you want, you can make this light swirl in a clockwise fashion, as water going down a plug hole or a tornado. So just that kind of beautiful light, vortex of light swirling into you, awakening you to your true nature, which is light. Because that's what you are at a subatomic level. Everything is light. Beautiful waves of light. And now I want you to have that sense of your three-dimensional body, that sense of containment, and keeping all of this light within yourself, not rushing out to give to everybody, to anybody, because sometimes you might feel uncomfortable holding on to your own light. I want you to, if you can, just see how you maintain and grow this light rather than just giving it out. And just notice what impacts this light, what makes it stronger, and what dims it. Or are you sort of leaking it out? Are you leaching it out? So I just want you to play around with it. And this light, there's this unlimited supplies. You have access to it anytime you want. It's yours. So just play around with it. And notice how much light you can comfortably hold without feeling the need to diminish it, share it, give it to anybody else. Of course, you're welcome to share it, but experience it yourself first for the next few days, so that you're full of this light, so that it's coming out of every part of you. It's your eyes, your ears, your mouth, every part of you is filled with light. I want you to just play with that this week. And please, please, please let me know how you're finding these meditations, these lessons, these workshops. Thank you for joining me. Speak to you soon.